Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a really long time. Been trying to get some gear together, trying to figure out how to make all this work, computer issues, all that sort of thing. Either way, today I've got something really special. I've got a package from the wonderful people at Revv. Now, I've had this for a couple weeks, just to be completely clear and honest here. Just getting over being sick. So hopefully we can make this video work for you guys. And I'm really excited about this one. So let's get into it. All right, guys, full disclosure. I have actually had this for several weeks now. I was going to do a video earlier, then I got sick. And so just now getting into it. But like I said, I'm really excited about this one. This is actually my first purchase from the good people at Revv. Now, this is in no way a sponsored video. I paid full retail for this. This is just, it was one of those products that when it came out, I just had to have it. Let's be real careful here. See if we can just get through this outer wrapping here without destroying the box. Easier said than done. All right. I love this tape on the outside. Please do not drop. This box contains happiness. Well, we shall see. I'm sure it does. All right. Beautiful, beautiful box here. How do we open it? Now, if you guys follow what Revv's been doing, I'm sure that you're easily able to guess what I ended up with. This is the signature pedal, the Sean Tubbs signature pedal. Candy, that's awesome. From Revv, it is I guess a low to medium gain overdrive with a built-in boost, which also has a tilt EQ on the boost. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit more later. Like I said, hopefully I can get these sound samples figured out for you guys. What do we have in the box besides just the pedal? I'm excited about the pedal, but I want to see all the rest of the stuff. Cute little guitar pick. Revv sticker. Nice. What does this say? It says, thank you for choosing to support us by purchasing a Revv product. Join Revv Amplification community Facebook group where you can ask questions, talk to the Revv team, and get tone tips from world-class guitarists. Sweet. Now, what is this? 20% off shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Well, that's cool. Keeping that. Oh man, you guys are gonna have to excuse my voice a little bit. Like I said, I've been sick, just getting over it, so I guess you'll just have to bear with me on this one. All right. May I say, are you serious with this bag? This is awesome. And here we go. That is a beautifully designed pedal. The layout's great, the graphics are great. It's got a nice footprint. Now, I purchased this one, I want to say a week into sales. And I know that Sean actually signed the first 200 that were sold through his store at Revv, which I decided to purchase through his store at Revv, mainly just so I could feel like I'm, supporting him a little bit more directly. And wouldn't you know it, I actually do have a signed copy. So this is actually really, really cool. Unfortunately, no one will ever really see that because this will be going directly on my pedal board. I guarantee it. It is going to take the place of several of my pedals. So let's get it hooked up and see how she sounds. Hey guys, welcome back. We are looking at the Tilt Overdrive from Revv. This is, I don't know, fourth, maybe fifth time I've tried to record a video for this. But you know what they say. 10th time's a charm, right? There are so many good videos out on this pedal. Players that are way better than me. So instead of doing an actual demo, although if everything worked out correctly, you just heard my sound demo. Let's just talk about the pedal. So if you're looking at my board now, it's actually the only overdrive pedal that's left on my board. At the time when I recorded my sound sample, I still had my Boss Super Overdrive, and I was actually going into the Tilt with the SD1, just because it sounded so good. I actually find that pushing this thing
with some kind of a mid boost. I don't know. It's really good. So the Tilt Overdrive, what is it? It's a low to medium gain overdrive. I mean, if you know what this pedal is, if you've watched any videos on this pedal, you know what this pedal is. You know, it's not high gain. It's not, you know, it's not a Tube Screamer. It's not a Klon. It's not a Timmy. I do think it can kind of, it will almost check those boxes. Klon's kind of a different story. It's got some things going on with it that, you know, you're just not going to find with other pedals, and that's just, you know, that's a whole different story for a different time. But this guy here, what this is to me is it's a more pedal. It's you know, it's got a powerful EQ section, although I say it's powerful, but at the same time, everything's usable. You know, I mean, and it gets bright. It can get bright if you want it to, but it doesn't get, like, the treble's not overpowering. The bass it's good, but it's in a frequency range that your guitar likes. It's, you know, it's in a low mid. It's not, you know, it's not super flubby. I mean, it's good, but the thing is, you know, what you can do with this pedal that I think that you can't do with a lot of other pedals. And, you know, I'm kind of a novice still, since most of my pedals have been kind of like Tube Screamery pedals. You know, I've had the cheapo Behringer, that is a Tube Screamer clone. It's an 808 clone. I've had the SD1 on my board forever and a day. It's actually one of my favorite overdrives. Same thing though. It's, you know, it's kind of a Tube Screamery thing, and a little bit more gainy. The mids sit a little bit higher, but it's, I mean, it kind of does, to me, I mean, it does the Tube Screamer thing. I think it just does it a little bit better. Now, I mean, I did take it off my board, but that's a whole other ball of wax, and we'll get into that in another video. But the tilt doesn't have to get in the way of your tone, and what I mean by that is that it doesn't, you know, it's not really imprinting its own flavor. And, you know, I think, you know, they talk about that with, like, the Timmy. They talk about that with the Klon, even though the Klon does have a little bit of a mid hump, but the way that, you know, the EQ changes as the gain structure changes, which again, it's a completely different story. It doesn't, yes, it does boost mids a little bit, but it's not completely changing your tone in the same way that, like, a Tube Screamer does. And, you know, I mean, Tube Screamers are great. They're awesome, especially if you play, like, Fender amps, which is funny. I play through Marshalls, or, well, the Marshall Origin most of the time, but at home I have I've got a Supro Delta King, and I have a Bugera Vintage 55, which, I mean, say what you will about that amp, but it's good. It's good. Don't, you see those for cheap? Buy it. Those things, let's just say they don't have the same problems that their high gain counterparts do. They're good. They're good amps. Don't sleep on them. But getting back to the pedal there, it doesn't get in the way. It's like, you know, the way I have mine set up, and it changes, you know, it changes every Sunday, really, just a little bit. You know, my amp's gonna sound a little different depending on what the room's doing. My church it's an uninsulated building, so So things vary wildly. Like tube amps, they do they are very susceptible to changes in temperature and humidity and whatever, and just like your guitar is, and speakers are kind of the same way. So the whole thing has always kind of varied wildly. For the last several years, I've been running my amp through a 2 Notes Torpedo, the Captor X, and mainly I haven't actually been using it for an attenuator. I kind of did at first, but that was to kind of battle that significant change in the tone of my speakers. I was trying to go quieter with my onstage and have my front of house be kind of the same, but my stage volume is just loud. It's just loud. I'm running a 4x12. So, off track again. Again, the tilt, it doesn't get in the way. It's a more pedal. You can set it so that it very much so is your guitar going into your amp, but it's giving you more. But it doesn't have to give you a lot more. So the way I set it up, I mean, EQ will change again, just day to day for the feel of it. Sometimes everything's just bright. So I'll bring back the treble. The bass tends to stay around noon, maybe a little bit less. I think right now I've got it right like 11 o'clock. Volume, strangely enough, it's, I try to keep things so that the volume, there's not a huge bump in volume when I turn on the gain pedal. But from amp to amp, that does change a little bit. I always found that kind of weird. I don't know if it's the power sections. I don't know if it's the way that the preamp's built, but for my Marshall, the volume's gonna be just above noon, maybe 1 o'clock. Gain is 11 o'clock for the most part. And mind you, I'm playing through single coils. My main guitar at church is I have no idea what year. It is a Fender Highway 1 Telecaster, which those are a very affordable USA Fender. And again, don't sleep on those. You see them, you're like, yeah, it's cheap USA. It's like the Squire of the USA Fender. No, the pickups are different. It has, I want to say it's an Alnico 3. It does some things. It does some things that are different than most Telecasters. Every once in a while I play through, my worship leader has I think it's a 2022 Fender Ultra Lux Telecaster. I mean, it's like it's the top of the line Telecaster if you don't want to go custom shop. And that thing does a Telecaster thing. It straight up does the Telecaster thing. The noiseless pickups, they're, I don't know, they're not my favorite. But but my Highway 1, it's a darker sounding guitar. It's a little bit different. It's very, I mean, it's rock and roll. It's that thing is a jack of all trades. But again, this pedal is that guitar going into my amp, and over the last I'd say year or 2 years, I've changed my setup to where I'm not running the effects loop anymore. Reason being is, our church operates off of a camp, and because of that, we have groups that need the stage, and I have to tear down, set up, whatever. And the thing is like I'm not always there when it's time to tear down, and my setup had gotten to the point where it was complex enough to where the guys were having trouble tearing down my amp. They didn't know what to do with what. I've got cables running everywhere. I was leaving my pedal board down there, and it was just kind of a pain. So I switched my amp to where it was running clean, which is kind of weird for a Marshall, but not even really edge of breakup, I would say. Just clean, and everything's running the front end, and this pedal has become my main drive tone. And it's a low drive pedal. I mean, it doesn't get super gainy. You can push it. I think Sean Tubbs did a video showing how to get kind of a JCM 800 kind of breakup out of this pedal, but that's not what it's made for. Really, it is a very sweet sounding low gain overdrive, and now there are ways to boost it into different situations. That's kind of why I got rid of the SD1. Is this compressor can actually do a mid-gain boost, or a mid boost anyway, not mid-gain. Let's talk about the boost side, the tilt. So, this is kind of what the pedal was named after, but this boost is, it can be a straight up dB boost. It has this little toggle switch, so middle, bink. The middle is full. Whatever you have the volume set to, whatever you have EQ set to, that's what's going. It's just a full-on boost, and it is, oh gosh, it kind of slips my mind. I want to say it's 12 dB. I could be wrong. It's enough. Yeah, it's enough. It's probably more than you're gonna get out of most overdrive pedals. But what's really unique about it is this Tilt EQ. So as you go clockwise with it, it boosts the lows, or I guess it would be the low mids in this case, really. But then it also cuts the highs. If you roll it off counterclockwise, it's doing the exact opposite. Now, this switch here, the middle position, that's giving you full. It's whatever your tilt is set to, that's the boost it's getting. And then you click it up, and it's got a half bass cut. And so it's just got a gentle curve on that EQ where it's cutting the bass, which is actually kind of nice. So what you can do is you can set your tilt EQ to where it's pushing the lower mids a little bit heavier, but then it's cutting the low lows, but it's also cutting the highs. And so instead of stacking a tube screamer type overdrive in front of it, just for that EQ section, now you're boosting those low mids, and the more you turn it to the left, the more towards the high mids you're gonna get. Now, I haven't really played with the brighter settings. I don't really do that much. I know some guys are really into that, the super chimey, super bright tones. That's not my thing. I like darker sounding guitars. I like darker sounding overdrives. Ideally, I like overdrives that are like this one, where it's just, again, it's my guitar into my amp, and it's just driven. It's not getting brighter, it's not getting darker, but that's really what I'm kind of shaping out of it. When I want my lead tone to be, is I want it to be everything that my drive side's doing. Again, I just want it to be more. But as you push the front end of this side of the pedal, just like pushing the front end of a gained out amp, the lows can be a bit much. And so I never run it in that middle position. I'm always in the half or the full. And that depends really entirely on how much gain I have on the pedal. Like I said, usually I'm right around 11 o'clock, sometimes a little bit higher. The song will kind of dictate that. I find I actually play with the gain quite a bit. One things that I like about this pedal that I found that I didn't like about other pedals is that I can actually crank the gain a little bit and not have to make any drastic adjustments on the volume. A lot of pedals are more, I'd say, this is amp-like, but they're more amp-like in the fact that, as you start driving the gain up, if you have a master volume on that amp, it's obviously it's going to get quite a bit louder until it gets to the point where it is compressing so much that it just can't get louder and it's just going to get more saturated. And this pedal seems to do well at that. I don't find that I have to change the volume all that much, and I will ride the gain quite a bit depending on the song that I'm playing. And as far as the boost side, sometimes I will use it to shape. Sometimes I'll turn that boost way down so it's almost static, and then I'll just use that tilt EQ to shape the tone. And that's when I will play with a little bit brighter of a sound. I'll go over to the full and I'll change my EQ just a little bit, just to make it a little bit brighter, just to make it jump out just a little bit. But and really my boost is just a small amount. We're talking, it's barely noticeable. So what, maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 dB, if that. But yeah, I was pushing this pedal with other pedals. I had at one point I had this in front of the TC Electronic Dark Matter Distortion, which I've had for, I don't even know, maybe 5 or 6 years. And then for a while I was pushing the Tilt with another overdrive pedal to get kind of a higher gain sound. I find for my lead tones, when I really need to be gained out, I actually don't mess with my Tilt at all, but I actually use my compressor, and I will set the output to my compressor just enough to where I'm getting that boost, but I'm getting the compression as well. And it just kind of gives you that kind of singing sustain. It's not, I'm not getting a chug out of it. But yeah, it's getting me exactly what I want. So, before I get too far into this, You know, I think this video is already starting to get long. Do I think the Tilt Overdrive is worth the money that you're going to spend on it? Yes. This pedal, I'm going to provide links. I will provide links to Sweetwater, who I do most of my business through. I will provide a link to Sean's website where you can buy these pedals directly from Sean, because this is the Sean Tubbs signature pedal. I will provide links to the Revv store if you want to buy directly from Revv. If I remember right, and as always, don't ever quote me on price because I don't remember things that well. This pedal is around $249. It is not a cheap overdrive. It is not the most expensive overdrive either. And for what it can do, it's not a bad deal. You're getting a, for lack of a better term, you're getting like a, say like a Boss Blues Driver type overdrive. It's not that, but in just the way that you would generally use it, I think that's about the closest match. I think Marshall at one point had an overdrive that was kind of similar, but either way, if you think about it, this half the pedal, just this little half the pedal, that's what you're getting. This Tilt Overdrive, the Tilt Boost side, this, I mean, that's a whole nother pedal. This is something else. And you know, the only thing I can really even somewhat compare it to as far as value for your dollar is the boost that I used to have on my board, which is the MXR Booster Mini. And that thing's a magician too, and we'll talk about that later. But really, you're getting a lot here. I mean, for $250, considering, you know, what you could pay for other boutique pedals that are just the drive side or just the boost side. That is, honestly, it's a hell of a deal. Do I think everyone needs a tilt? I don't think you need it, but I don't think it would hurt. Honestly, I think if you're like me, if you like overdrives, this is one that should be in your collection. I think it's versatile enough. I think this is one of those pedals that's going to live on your pedal board for a very, very long time, if not indefinitely. I think it works as well. I mean, it can be a dual boost. They're just, the possibilities with a pedal like this is just so endless. I mean, you could have boosts in 2 different flavors. It's just, there's so much going on. Yeah. I mean, you're getting a signature pedal from Revv, and you know, I love Revv. Their pedals aren't cheap. Those G series pedals, those are gonna run you $300. This is less, and this is a signature pedal that they made for Sean. It is described as the sound in his head, and it's good. It's just good, man. Honestly, I can't say enough good things about it. This pedal has lived on my board for a year. Like I said, I tried multiple times to make videos for this. I've had computer issues. I've had sound issues. There's been just a whole variety of things that have gone on. My channel went dead for a long time because of those issues, and yeah, man, now we're back, and this pedal, which I was making the video when I was starting having issues, and it has lived on my board for almost a year now. A year. This pedal, everything else has changed. Honestly, just about everything else on this board has changed. There's a few pedals that have survived, they've moved around, and really it's just the key pedals that are still there. And this pedal, let me tell you, this ain't going nowhere. You know, there's some tricks to this pedal. I want to get into that more, but I'd actually kind of like to get into that more in a lit video when we talk about this setup that I'm in now, which is different, which there's a reason it's different, and I want to talk to you guys about that. But let's get into that later. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. The Tilt, it's amazing. Buy it. You will not regret buying this pedal. And mind you, I have zero ties. None. I'm not sponsored in any way by Revv. I like the guys there. I follow their channel. I participate in their live streams. I'm there, but this is not a brand loyalty thing. This is just the best overdrive I've ever played. Hands down. And with that, if you guys would go ahead and like and subscribe, that'd be amazing. That's the best way that you can possibly help this channel out. I'm definitely just starting out. If you have any questions, any comments, anything, please leave those in the comment section down below. Again, I will have links to this pedal, where you can buy it, and all that in the description. And with that, I'm out.